What is going on, everyone? Good morning here from Dubai. Welcome, everyone. I hope you guys are all doing great. Today, we're going to be doing a lot of things. Welcome to the early joiners on this live: Aditya, Mawai, Kian, Kejan, Glenn, Kian. Welcome, everyone. It's going to be a very interesting live today. We're going to be analyzing a few things, and as always, we're going to be giving away free accounts on this live stream. Okay, so can't wait to get started today. Best of luck to everyone that's watching, and yeah, I hope you guys are having an amazing week so far. Just going to wait for a few of you to join before we get started. How's everyone been? I want to know what trades you've been taking this week, and if it was a loss or a win. I just want to know. Comment below, what trades have you been taking, and has it been a winner or a loser? How much pips today? Not sure what you mean by that. Let's get started. Okay, we'll get started in a second. We're going to be looking at a few pairs for sure. Comments on the gold. Yeah, we're going to be looking at gold shortly. Not a good week, but let's see what today holds for sure. How is your week? I am profit 2% on an account. That's good. That's really good. Well done. Just gold and 4% in profit. Well done. 4%, that's perfect. 2%, that's good as well. All right, so we're going to go straight in and see what gold is saying. Gold has been moving really interesting recently. And so we're going to be looking at that and, breaking down my opinion on gold. Let me just open up the chat here. There we go. Good morning to everyone. Good morning to Udo. There we go. All right. What do you trade besides gold? We trade pound pairs and gold. That's usually what I trade. So yeah, now that there's a few of you on here, let's quickly get in and analyze gold. So we saw gold break the 4K level, right? And right now it's just under the 4K level. As usual, I'm just going to plot some zones that I'm looking at. So right here, we'll do the high as well. Okay. And there's another area that I'm also looking at right there. Okay. So with gold, right now we are on the 3-hour time frame. The 3-hour time frame. Okay. We did see heavy bearish momentum last night from the 4K, so 4,057 level, and now it's just under the 4K level. Okay, so we are seeing, some bearish momentum, and if we look at since the start of the gold bullish, momentum, the heavy bullish momentum, we really haven't seen a bearish drop like this in a while. And like if you look at it here, it dropped from 3.8K to about 3.8K, right? But last night it went from 4,060 to now below the 4K level. Okay. And that's really important. Now we're going to figure out where gold could head to based on what it's done since last night. And so with gold right now, if I bring up my arrow, I would like to add one more zone, which is right here. There we go. So if we look at gold right now, it's literally bouncing on this zone, the 3.9K zone. If we look at it, I'll zoom in as well and show you what I mean. So bring up the arrow. We have this level. You see it's struggling. We have again here and again here. So it's a good zone for sure. What I'm looking at is how it responds to this zone right here. If gold can break below this zone, I do see it continuing to the downside, at least to the 3.8K level. So somewhere around here. And again, understand with gold, what we're looking for, we know there's going to be some form of a pullback, right? Based on the heavy bullish momentum recently. And so what we're looking for is that bias to confirm when we can get into a sell position based on momentum. We're not just going to sell right now, we're going to sell based on when that confirmation happens. Okay. However, my target for gold would be around this zone right here. So ideally, what I'd like to see is a drop below this level before I consider a sell. If I'm looking for a sell, it would be under this zone right here. So a potential sell below close of, I would say, 3949. So if price can show me a close below this level, so I want a body, I want a bearish body that closes below this zone right here, I would be very interested in a sell position towards the downside of 3870. Okay, but it's just about how it moves. We do know with gold currently, it's very strong. It has very strong bullish momentum, a lot of upside pressure. So if I'm going to consider a sell or a short, I would have to do it under the close of the 3949 level. Okay. But I do see gold going down. I do see it going down. It's been pushing up towards the upside. And I would say there is going to be a massive correction towards the downside for gold. My main target, my only target for gold right now is the 3870. So let me put it here. $3,870 is my gold target. Okay. I do see it coming down to the 3870 level. And yeah, for now, we're going to keep it like that. I'm going to move to another pair and keep on watching this gold setup form. We're going to move on to pound JPY. Pound JPY, Japanese yen. Yeah, make sure you guys like the stream. Yeah, just like the stream if you haven't liked already. I'm always long on gold, just waiting confirmation. Massive correction. Do you trade the NAS 100? No, I don't trade the NAS 100. How about Euro USD? I will be looking at Euro USD shortly, so just stay tuned. Make sure you like the stream and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. All right. Someone said a huge gap on Japanese yen. Yeah, but like I said before last week, I pretty much don't focus on gaps. To me, gaps are not important if it's not an additional bias. So, for example, if my strategy tells me that I'm looking for a short position, and in that short position, I also have a gap in that downside, it's just an added bias, but it's nothing on its own, right? A lot of people have the belief that gaps always fill, and for me, that's not a strategy on its own, right? It's risky. Um, so with pound JPY, do you trade news? No, I don't trade news. I trade based on price action. I think sticking to one pair makes one consistent and disciplined. I only trade gold. Yeah, for sure. You got to find the pair that works for you. Everyone has that, right? For some of you, maybe euro pairs. Some of you might be pound pairs. Some of you might be a combination of different pairs, or maybe even crypto. But you need to find the the few pairs that work for you and stick to it. Don't be out here trading every pair in the market just because you're trying to get in on a trade. That makes no sense. Okay. Someone said pound bearish. Let's have a look. Yeah, well, I mean, with the GJ pair right now, we do see it on a support level, on a zone. That's going to be interesting to see right now. This zone is going to indicate to us whether it's going to either consolidate or maybe either break below or reverse towards the upside. So just based on this zone and how it reacts to this zone, the 203, 108 zone is going to show us a lot. Okay. So it's just a wait and see game. We just need to wait and see how it reacts to this zone. I don't have a long-term bias on GJ right now. So if we're talking the short term, we just have to see based on this zone. Yes, trying to trade every pair is not a good habit, 100%. It is not a good habit. It's only the habit that gamblers have. Okay. If you're a gambler, you're going to trade every pair just so you can, double your account. It's just not something that's smart. Okay. Pound USD. Pound USD. Let's have a look. I mean, pound USD. seems like it's on a bearish trend at the moment. Broke below this zone right here. So just based off of that, I do see it. I do see that it has that bearish momentum. However, if we look at other zones, so we would have to plot the zones. Let me plot some zones right now. So we have that zone. And right here, let's go back to confirm a little bit more. Yeah, it's a good zone. Good zone filled with resistance, 10 support, or support 10 resistance. So that's a indication of a good zone. So if you want to take away a tip right now, you want to take away a massive tip, how do you draw good zones like this areas that I'm drawing on the charts? Look for either support or resistance. But how do you confirm these zones? You only confirm these zones by bounces, or what I'd call multiple touches, right? Price would have to touch this highlighted zone multiple times for it to indicate that it's a good zone. Usually that's via support 10 resistance or resistance 10 support. I'll give you an example. Okay, I'll give you a very good example just so you can, plot these zones on your own. So have a look. As support. So what was previously a form of resistance now turned into support. If we go back in time, it's going to confirm that even more. So let's go back in time. So we have a bounce, which is support, right? And then we also have resistance. So price came up, failed to break above, came back down, and finally broke and then acted as, a support. Although it's a bit messy based on this chart, but you get the example. When you're plotting your support and resistance zones, make sure you look for these confirmations. Okay. How many is multiple times for a zone to be valid as support or resistance? 3 or more. So what we look for is 3 or more. Usually you'll get many more than that. You'll get 30, 40. It's impossible for it to be 3 or more. If you go back in time, you will see the confirmation. It's highly unlikely for you not to have multiple confirmations on a zone. So you look for, multiple bounces or rejections. Okay. And anyone that doesn't have these zones on their chart is missing out. You need to know areas of interest within the charts. So if there's heavy selling pressure or heavy buying pressure. Okay. You don't want to sell at an area where buyers are trying to buy. Makes no sense. You don't want to buy at an area where sellers are trying to sell. So as long as you know what zones you are in, and you know that beforehand, you save yourself from a lot of stress. Okay. So yeah, back to pound USD. Broke below this level, now is bouncing on this zone. I would say based on short-term movements, we see that pound USD is on a bearish momentum. So I would say just keep an eye on this pair right now. I do see the pound pair is really being active next week. But for now, let's just see how it moves around this zone, 1.333, and this zone right here that it bounced from. But let's keep moving on. Pound Swiss, the Swiss franc. Not even going to break down this pair right now. It's on a bearish momentum somewhat. However, based on consolidation, I'm not looking to analyze this pair right now. Okay. So I'm gonna move on to pound CAD. Pound Canadian dollar. I like the way pound CAD is moving, to be honest. Right now it's within these zones and it's very clear how it's moving. Although, yes, it is somewhat consolidating. Okay. Has been consolidating for a while, since last month, actually. Um, However, it's bouncing at these zones very clearly. Okay. So I would say with pound Canadian dollar, let's see how it reacts to this support right here. However, I wouldn't be surprised based on the other pound pairs if pound CAD drops to this level right here. So the 1.85646 zone. Okay. So what could happen is price breaks through this level. So a break below this level. And a continuation towards the downside, potentially to the 1.85538. Okay. However, a short would only be interesting with pound CAD provided price closes below this level. So what I'm looking for before we enter a short position is a close, a body close below this level before I enter a short position towards the downside. Until that happens, we're staying out. Simple. Okay. Pound New Zealand. Let's have a look. What time do you prefer to trade? It doesn't really like it. I've said this before multiple times. Whenever I get a setup based on my strategy, I will trade. However, it really depends. Sometimes it's the London session. Sometimes it's not the London session. So it depends. Someone said gold. We're gonna have a look at gold again shortly. And also, if you're watching, we are going to be giving away free accounts. Yes, accounts that you can trade with, given by AquaFunded. So make sure you like the stream if you're watching. And as always, whilst I'm on this stream, if you use the code AquaTV, you get 45% off any Forex account on AquaFunded. And if you use the same code, you get 65% off of futures accounts. Okay. So if you're looking to trade futures, now is the moment whilst I'm on the stream to use the code to get 65% off a futures account. Now back to pound New Zealand. Most of the time, the market respects your area. To be honest, it's because nobody's always right, by the way. But when price respects an area, it's because you have a zone that is very clearly defined, right? And if you have these zones, it shows you the buyer's area or the seller's area. That's what I like to call it. So yeah, make sure you guys like the stream. Um, Pound New Zealand. What trade, what pair is everyone looking to trade? I want to know. Comment below. What pair is, are you looking at right now? Maybe you're in the trade, maybe you're looking at it before you make that trade. Let me know what pair that is. Is it gold? Is it crypto? Is it futures? I want to know in the comments. Let me know. So let me know what pair you're going to trade or you're in already and what direction you'd hope it goes. So whether it's long or short. Gold, Nasdaq. Okay. Pound, New Zealand. Yeah, similar to, was it pound Swiss? Not really interesting. A lot of consolidation going on. So going to move on to pound Australian dollar AUD. Oh, this is interesting. Pound AUD on a bearish momentum. Okay. Let me draw out some zones on pound AUD so you guys get to see firsthand how I'm drawing these zones. Okay. And again, it's not a specific price level. It's a zone. So it's more or less that price area. And as you do these zones and you plot them, you kind of get used to, plotting them quicker. So the more you practice setting up your support and resistance zones, the more it gets easy to, quickly do them. So again, practice makes perfect. Okay. Anything that you practice in life and you repeatedly practice, you start to master it. Anything. If you do something for 30 days straight, it's impossible to not master it. Okay. Consistency is, part of mastery. So, someone said, you trade only price action. Yes, I trade mainly based on price action. I don't trade based on news. Although some of you may trade based on news, but for me, it's just never been my thing. I don't trade based on news. I trade based on simple price action. Okay. Alongside a strategy that I use, I've named it the 20% strategy. And it's something that I designed and created. And yeah, so the 20% strategy is a strategy that is not out there. It's something that I've made personally. And so I use it in combination with the higher time frame, top-down analysis, and my own short time frame strategy. What are your views on, as a beginner, what should we learn first or make our strategy? The first thing that you should learn is how to manage your risk. If you don't manage your risk, you're going to blow your prop trading account. If you don't manage your risk, you're going to not be in the game long term. So the best thing to look at when you start trading is managing your risk. Okay. So pound AUD on a massive bearish momentum, very clear, obvious. Okay. Comment below where you guys are all watching from, by the way. Let me know what country you're watching from right now and what time it is for you. With pound AUD, I wouldn't be surprised if it does something like this, where it tests this level again and it heads back down towards the 2.01484 level. If we look at the other pound pairs, we do see a heavy bearish momentum in the coming few weeks. I wouldn't say heavy, I would say mild. So some form of a short-term bearish momentum towards the downside. And so that's also part of my bias with pound AUD. We're going to come back to that though. USD JPY. USD JPY. Let's have a look. There seems to be a bullish momentum with USD JPY right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a continuation towards the upside, just simply off of these bounces right here. However, I'd come back to USD JPY. Let's move on to Euro USD. Let's have a look at Euro USD. Someone asked me for Euro USD, so going to break it down. Yeah, so we have straight away break below this level. Right, it broke below. I'm assuming it's going to be a retest and potentially a continuation towards the downside. Okay, but we need to first see how it reacts to this zone. Is it going to maybe, do something like this and then come back in that zone and then maybe continue towards the upside? That's a possibility, right? It is a possibility. Or is it going to retest this previous support, now potential resistance? Downside, that is a possibility. I do need to plot more zones. So let's see what we have below this zone of Euro USD. Okay. Right here. I'll do the low as well. Let's do the low. There we go. Yeah, so something like this could be a possibility. So we're talking in between these levels. So between these levels, we're talking about a 60 pip range. So yeah, let's see how it reacts to this zone right here. And if it's going to stay within that zone, it's going to be very important. Very important. Next up, we have New Zealand dollar. Let me see if I'm looking at anything with this pair right now. Yeah, I mean, there is a bearish trend somewhat, but not enough volume for me to look at and be breaking it down. So yeah, going back to gold right now, which is a lot more interesting. we see gold has now started to move up. Since we spoke about gold a few minutes ago, it's already gone up about 200-300 pips. Okay, I said potential sell below close of 3949. I didn't say sell. I said if price can close, that's when I'd be interested in a sell position. Until that happens, where I'm not in any position when it comes to gold. Okay. So let's spend a few minutes answering some questions right now. I want to answer some questions. If you have any questions in regards to trading, now is your time to get an answer directly from me. So any questions you have, let me know. Sir, which levels are likely being defended by smart money today and why? That question is absolutely not clear. You need to be very clear with your question, right? You're using the words of, saying defended, right? What does that mean? What is your biggest profit ever? First time you hold a trade, as long as possible. Aditya Gamers. My biggest profit ever. The longest I've held for was 2 or 3 days, and it was roughly around 300 pips. I tend to avoid large trades, more of it going over the 200 pip mark. I tend to avoid it simply because it does go over the time and it's a lot more to manage in terms of time as well. Usually 100 pips in and out. So if I hold, it's just a choice during that moment. What's the move of gold for today? Yeah, we're looking at gold. Let's see how it reacts to the level. I'm going to give a bias on a long for gold as well shortly, so stay tuned. A lot of you are interested in the gold setup, so we're going to look at it now. It's going to be very interesting if gold can head back towards all-time high. It's going to be very interesting. I'd be interested in seeing that for sure. All right, let's give away an account. Let's make this interesting. I'm going to be giving away a futures account of 50K. Who's ready? Comment one if you're ready for a futures account. Let me know. Let me know if you're ready for a futures account. And again, if you don't win, please do understand that AquaFunded is nice enough to give a code that you can use on the screen right now, on the bottom right of the screen, AquaTV, and it gives you 45% off of any Forex account and 65% off of any futures account. So if you don't win, you still have the opportunity to get that massive discount. Okay? Don't feel disheartened. Don't feel that you're unlucky. Take this education, this stream that we're giving away, and also the opportunity to win these accounts. But don't feel discouraged. With that being said, the 50K account is what I'm going to give away right now. So bear with me. And you have to be quick. I'm going to be doing it very quickly. So make sure you're quick when it comes to answering the question I'm about to ask. Okay. First person to answer this question wins. Simple and clear. All right. For the 50K AquaFutures account, who can answer this following question? If Euro USD pair is currently at 1.1000, so that's 3 zeros, and it moves up 100 pips, what's the new price? First person to answer wins the 50K futures account. If the Euro USD pair is currently at 1.1000 and it moves up 100 pips, what's the new price? So 1.1000, price moves up 100 pips. What's the new price? Congratulations to Kwame. Kwame, I believe you're the first person to answer that. Just going to confirm. Meanwhile, I'll put it in the chat for everyone to see. That was very fair. And congratulations to Kwame for answering that. If price moves up 100 pips, it's going to be at 1.100. Sorry, 1.1100. Okay. So everyone say congrats to Kwame. Yeah, Kwame vibes. Okay, so next we're giving away two 10K Forex accounts. This might be interesting if you're a trader, you're not looking for futures. We're giving away two 10K accounts. So two special people win the opportunity of getting these accounts. Okay. Which currency is known as cable in trading slang? So the word cable is short for a currency pair. Which currency pair is it? Is it Euro USD, USD JPY? Is it gold? What pair is known as cable? You got to say the full pair to win. Congratulations to Andre Zage. It's pound USD. So if you didn't know, pound USD is also known as cable. It's a slang, it's a short word. So if you hear cable, I'm trading cable, it means pound dollar, pound USD. Okay. Congratulations to Andre Zage on winning the 10K account with AquaFunded. Now, when it comes to the winners, make sure you DM me on Instagram, and I will put my Instagram in the chat for you to DM me with proof so you can be added, you can be given the accounts. Okay, so we're gonna give away one more 10K account, and then at the end of the stream, we're going to be giving away 3 more accounts. Okay. Gold is, I think it's moving. So we're going to go back to gold after I give away the next 10K account. So give me a second. All right. I'm going to make this one very easy for you guys. Okay. If a trader risks 2% per trade with a $10,000 account, how much is he or she risking? Again, if a trader is risking 2% per trade with a 10K account, how much is he or she risking? $5, $10, $100? Okay, so first person to say the answer is Udo Steen. I know a lot of you did say the answer, but it's, oh, apologies. It is not. So the first person to say the answer, if I go all the way up, a lot of you guys are spamming the chat. It is A. Um, congrats on winning the 10K account with AquaFunded. Just going to save your name here. Make sure you DM me on Instagram. I'm going to comment my Instagram username right now. Message me showing proof you're the person behind the account, and AquaFunded or AquaFutures will process the accounts for you right away. The team at AquaFunded are very smooth and very quick. So when you send me a message, they'll process you without any delay. So that's the Instagram. Okay. So just anyone that's won the accounts today, make sure you DM that Instagram with the proof of you being the person behind the account. Okay. And if you didn't win on this first round, don't be discouraged. Okay, now moving on, let's go back to gold. We're going to be giving away 3 more accounts, guys. So we're going to be giving away one 50K account and 2 more 10K accounts at the end of the stream. So if you miss it, you miss it. Okay, you can get a free trading account if you like the stream and are subscribed and you answer the questions that I give out. Okay, next ones might not be a question. It might be a random person that I've seen commenting. So yeah. Back to gold. Let's have a look at the 30-minute with gold. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it reacts to this support, this resistance level right here. If it can hold, we could get further downside and a break below the 3956 level. So that's going to be very interesting. I really want to have an account on AquaFunded. Be patient and maybe one day you'll win. So don't be discouraged. Gold is going back to 4K for sure. I mean, let's see. Let's see. We definitely I do see it going back to 4K, right? But short term we could see more downside. So let's see. Best prop firm, 100%. The thing I like about gold, someone messaged me the other day asking me, why I like gold so much. It's simply because of the volume. Gold has a lot of volume. And when it comes to trading the markets, you want to trade a pair that has a lot of volume. That allows for the analysis to be a lot more clear, um, and a lot more trade setups as well. The more volume there is, um, the more trade setups there are. Okay. So, yeah. How many years have you been trading and what mistakes did you make when starting and how can we as beginners avoid it? You can't avoid mistakes. I think the best way to learn is to face those mistakes. So get over those failures, right? To avoid a failure is to avoid lessons, and to avoid lessons is to not elevate in any level, whether it's trading or life, right? In terms of how many years I've been trading, more or less 8 years. And I've made a lot of mistakes. I have lost a lot of money in the beginning, simply, you know, due to gambling. Um, and learning my lessons really came from just having that stubborn mindset and having FOMO and repeating the same mistakes led me to get tired of blowing accounts and not, being profitable. So that's what led me to say, you know what? I am going to figure out how I can master this and how I can come up with a strategy. So I started back testing. So if you know what back testing is, it's basically going back in time. So you literally go back in time. You go on the charts, you go back 2 years, 3 years, 4 years more, right? And you test out a thesis, like you test out a strategy that you may have, and you trade like it's a simulation. You're trading like, you know, you would actually trade, and that would allow you to test out your strategy. So I did that for 9 hours, 8, 9 hours a day for a year straight. Okay. Yes, that's the IG Basilito. That's the IG. But yeah, I spent a lot of time. You cannot master anything if you're not spending a lot of time learning. Okay. You need to focus in. Don't trade and do many other things at the same time. Trade, focus, and like just master it by repetition. Okay. The more hours you put in, the more you're going to get in terms of confidence and knowledge. Okay. I hope that helped. FOMO has been one of my challenges. Fear of missing out is basically you thinking, and this is, how you can avoid FOMO when it comes to trading? Very simple. There's always another one. Having FOMO, and please listen to this, having FOMO is like missing a train. So, like, let's just say you're in a train station, you missed the train. Another one's going to come in 15 minutes. Why are you so bothered? Right? Another one might come in 30 minutes. Okay. There's always another one. So when it comes to trading, to have FOMO. Let me into this trade, otherwise I'll miss out on profits. Well, there's another trade that's going to happen, right? And even if you did into that trade, it's not like making those profits would have you retire from trading based off of that one trade, right? So FOMO is just being immature and very short-term minded. If you're long-term minded, you would understand that there's always another setup, there's always another trade. So you don't need to have the fear of missing out. If you're going to have the fear of missing out, it has to be with something that only ever happens once, right? If there's a life event or something in life that happens once in a lifetime, well, it might be something worth potentially having FOMO for. But when it comes to trading, you need to throw that out the window, because when you're trading multiple setups in a month, not just one or two. So yeah. This is the best firm ever. If you're looking for the best firm with no payout denials, then here is your best stop, 100% Khalil. I think a lot of people overlook the psychology aspect of trading, and that's really important. Psychology and mindset is the difference between being able to successfully be profitable and withdraw and, be successful in that thing. So like, let's just say I'll give an example. There's been a few traders that I've personally seen, right? They would take the same trade. So they would take the same trade, and one over a period of time, usually 3-4 weeks, would get so overconfident based on the wins that just purely off of risk management, they'd be out of the game, right? I've seen that happen so many times. And so overconfidence is another failure when it comes to, the psychology part of things. But I recommend working on your mindset. Okay. Just because you're profitable right now doesn't mean you won't start to mismanage those profits in the future. Okay. How do you track and review your performance over time? So there's a few ways. If you're a beginner, I highly recommend journaling. So have a book, have a notepad. It can also be on PDF, and track your performance over time. Okay, so pair you've traded, time you've entered, position longer short, and P&L. Okay. We're going to see how gold can react to this level, the 3991 level. So let's see. How can we manage our mindset? By the first step is always risk management, right? And then mindset is just reflecting. I realized if I self reflect, I stop myself from the past mistakes, right? You only need to blow your account one time for you to reflect on why your account was blown. Okay. So to manage your mindset is learn from your lessons and don't repeat them. Okay. And learn from other people. It should come down, right? With gold, again, we're waiting for that confirmation. I'm not looking to sell. at least until the close of this level, below this level, sorry, the 3949 level. That will be a strong indication for a sell position. Yeah, for sure. I will be doing a stream about psychology for sure. And again, just to mention, if you use the code AquaTV on the screen right now, you get 45% off of any Forex account and 65% off of any futures account. Okay. Code is AquaTV. How to manage risk management. First of all, you would have to have a strategy, and then you'd also have to backtest. And then from there, you'd have to figure out what kind of risk management style works for your strategy. Okay. So that's different for every strategy. However, I would recommend 1 to 2%. Don't risk more than 1 to 2% per trade. Another tip that I have, someone asked me, what tips do I have for psychology? One of my biggest tips, and I promise if you take this one, it's going to save you. It's if in doubt, stay out. So if you have any doubts about a trade, stay out. You're going to save yourself. Even if it goes to the direction that you want it to go to, the you respecting your doubts, staying away is so important. It builds discipline, right? If you have a doubt when it comes to your setup, stay away and wait for another one that's more clear. Okay. And when it comes to confidence, also you'd have to understand with trading, a lot of you are driving a car with no direction. Okay. You're driving a car, you have the car, the physical car. You're just driving around with no direction, no Google Maps, right? No Apple Maps, no direction. And so, how does this relate to trading? When you're trading, everything has to be systemized and not randomized. So, what do I mean by that? You need to have your rules in place, whether it's written down or whatever. You need to have rules and systems and not trade based on random feelings. Or you're on your phone, you go on your phone, you're outside, you place a trade on your phone based on how you feel. That makes no sense. Okay. There needs to be a system in place. There's no system, there's no trades. And when you have that, you start to look at trading very clearly. Okay. It's going to be interesting how gold moves today based on the zone that it's on right now. It's currently just below the 4K level. So it's going to be interesting. Let's see how it moves on this zone right here. Are we going to get a massive upside, or are we going to get a failure and a return towards the downside? Let me go back on the 3-hour time frame. I can't message you on Instagram. How can I get my account? You would have to Discord the team. So if you don't have Instagram, another way would be to email or go on live chat or Discord the AquaFunded team and tell them you won the account. Hey Dini, what's your favorite pair? Currently gold. Gold is very volatile, so it's definitely gold. Gold is currently pushing up as we speak. So this level is going to be interesting. Are we going to get a break? Like, are we going to get a push towards the upside and then maybe it won't close above, so we can have multiple wicks above, but the body is going to close here? We're going to see. Aditya Gamer, I don't understand your question. Just reword the question so I can answer it for you. What's your strategy? So I use a strategy called a 20% strategy. It's a strategy that I've created personally. So yeah. What strategy do you use? Like I said, it's called a 20% strategy. So it's one that I've made, and it's not really public. Okay, gold is moving up as we see on the charts right now. So let's see. Let's see how it reacts. Gold bias for the day depends on this 1-hour closure. Not really. But let's see how it moves right now. It's going to be interesting. Okay. I'm also looking at USD JPY right now. It is consolidating, but I'm very curious to see what direction it takes. Heading towards the following week, next week. So it's going to be interesting with USD JPY. Who's trading USD JPY? I want to know. If you're in a trade with USD JPY right now, let me know if you're long or short. Is giveaway over? No, we are giving away 3 more accounts. I'm just answering your questions at the moment. This is why I don't take short trade in gold, even if there's a huge volume. Yeah, I mean, right now, there's huge bullish momentum when it comes to gold. Even if you noticed, every time it pushes towards the downside, there's almost an instant pullback, right? It's got a lot of bullish momentum behind it. So just be careful if you're going short. Okay. be very careful. Yeah, shorting is against the trend, right? The trend is clearly towards the upside, right? And has been for a while. And so if you're going to short and trade based on that pullback, just look for, strong confirmations. How many years did you say you were trading again? 8 years, more or less. What if market consolidates? You trade on that day. If market consolidates, I tend to avoid a trade setup unless I have an overall bias behind it. So if it's just a consolidation, then I'd avoid it personally. And like I said earlier, if in doubt, stay out. If you're confused, if you're not sure, if you don't like what you see in the chart, stay out. Come back another day. There's always going to be another trade. Do you think gold is still going to be bullish? I mean, we'd have to see. We'd have to see. I'm hoping for a pullback towards the downside. 3870 is my target. If price can potentially begin that bearish momentum and close below 3949. If price closes below 3949, I'm very happy to enter a short position towards 3870. It's just about the confirmation. If we get a confirmation, then we're looking to short gold. But if you short gold right now, you're purely shorting based on emotions and not confirmations, okay? So just wait for the confirmation. No need to rush that at all. Explain the confirmation expecting on gold. Yeah, so with gold, I am waiting for a confirmation. So look, I will explain very clearly. Go on the 3-hour time frame. Okay, let's go on the 3-hour time frame with gold. What I'm looking, so right now we know price is currently in between the resistance and support. Okay, what I'm looking for is if price can close below. So I want a body that closes below this candle right here. Okay, so the 3949. If it closes somewhere below, it will indicate to me based on this zone being respected. Look at it, it's not breaking below. It's acting as a form of support, right? Although we don't have previous data. Yes, I know we don't have previous data confirming this is a zone, right? However, it is something that I'm looking at. So if price can close below, it's somewhat of an indication that we could have further downside. All right, so we're going to give away the next 50K futures account with AquaFutures. Okay. If you're ready, let me know. We're going to make this very simple. I know last time a lot of you didn't like the way I picked the winner. So I was just saying, pick a number based 1 to 30. So now we're going to do things a lot more different. Okay. And I want to ask you guys a question. So it's going to be a question. Whoever can answer it first wins. I'm a futures trader. Please I feel like I should just pick one person from the chat that deserves it. Or, okay, let me know. Should I pick one person from the chat that deserves it? Or should I ask a question so everyone can have a fair chance? Should I ask a question or pick a person that I think deserves it? Let me know. 50K futures account is on the line. Question. All right. Okay. I'll do a random question. First person to answer wins. Okay. All right. Are we ready? Are we ready? First question for the 50K futures account. What does RSI above 70 typically indicate? Oversold, neutral, overbought, or downtrend confirmed? Again, what does RSI above 70 typically indicate? Oversold, neutral, overbought, or downtrend confirmed? All right, so I think we have a winner. Bad Shah 76. Let me confirm. Let me confirm. Yeah, you seem to be the first person to have answered it. Congratulations to Bad Shah 76. Okay, interesting username for sure. Congrats, 50K account. DM me on Instagram. Anyone that's not won the account, please do not feel discouraged. We're giving away accounts when we do these streams. Okay. Again, if you want to get an account now, use the code on the screen. So Badshah76. Let me write down your name so I know. DM me on Instagram. I'll get you in touch with the team. Next person, we're giving away Badshah. Let me just put in the Instagram in the comments right now. Next person that I'm going to pick is actually someone that I've seen commenting today, and that's the 10K account. I'm gonna pick Golden Replay. Okay, Golden Replay has been on this stream asking good questions and has been taking the lessons in. Okay, so I'm giving away the 10K Forex account to Golden Replay. Okay, congrats to Golden Replay. I told you, if you're watching these streams and you're taking in the lessons and you're commenting something beneficial, I will pick you. Okay, so Golden Replay, 10K Forex account, congrats. Next one is going to be a question. What does NFP stand for? What does NFP stand for? 10K account, first person that can answer that. What does NFP stand for? You gotta say it fully, okay, with correct grammar as well. Incorrect grammar will not count. Non-farm payroll, it seems that Kian has won, okay? Let me confirm that, but I know some of you have said it. Someone said non-farm role, okay? You didn't say it clearly with grammar. The person that said it with grammar is Kian Nils. Okay. Kian Nils, congratulations on winning. See, you got your chance. You were saying earlier, when am I going to get lucky? You got your chance to win the 10K Forex account. Okay. Now that's it for the giveaways. I'm going to mention how you guys can reach out to me so that the AquaFunded team can give the accounts over. Okay. Don't feel discouraged, like I said, if you haven't won. If you use the code AquaTV, you get 45%. Whilst I'm on this stream right now, you get 45% off any Forex account, okay? Or 65% if you're trading futures. Let's have a look at gold right now. Yeah, it's still within that range. Appreciate it, Pro Trader 28. See, you're happy for the winners. See, that's how it's supposed to be. Positivity. Gajan said he was the first person to answer that question. Doesn't appear to be. If I have a look. Yeah, there's many before you. Richard just commented non-farm payrolls right now. Richard, unfortunately, a little too late, but don't feel discouraged. But yeah, guys, this is the end of this stream. Wanted to catch up with you guys, answered a lot of your questions. I hope I provided value. Every time I come on these streams, I want to provide more and more value. I have a lot coming for Monday. On Monday, I'm going to be giving away so much wisdom and so much free game that you not joining the stream on Monday is going to be something that you should have FOMO over. Okay. So make sure you join the stream on Monday. And appreciate you guys. Make sure you subscribe. And what you do is this: you subscribe, turn on your notification bell. So when I go live, it alerts you that I've gone live. Okay. With that being said, guys, appreciate you guys for joining. And to all the winners, do reach out to me on Instagram. And that's it for this stream. Take care. See you on Monday. Enjoy your weekend.